Implicit bias is something that I've seen a lot in my life. It's not something that I truly seen enough to impact me. Um, but while researching it recently, I started to notice how big of an impact it actually has on our opinions and our decision making around what we think of other people, what we think of different things, but just how we were raised. It's led to a lot of current event issues like Black Lives Matters and movements like that related to it. This can be seen actually with the short film Sudan about a group of young boys visiting from a small village in Sudan in Africa, and they're visiting America. And in the film, they're seen as outsiders. All the locals, you see them staring at them, and you see them giving like dirty looks at them just by implicit bias. How they react to the group of outsiders, the tourists. They're just trying to enjoy, be happy. They're just young boys trying to look around and learn from everything around them. And these people are just staring them down. And they actually have to be told to travel in smaller groups instead of going with all their friends. They have to go with only a couple of them because they're making the locals very nervous. And because it gives them anxiety seeing a bunch of people, they don't feel safe apparently. And it just shows the implicit bias because they don't, just because they look different, they weren't like the people they were raised, they feel that they're not safe with them. This is also seen with unsaid emotions. That's just like the dirty looks that they would give them. You can show implicit bias without even saying it. Just your facial reactions, the way you look at someone. And in the film May, we see interactions between the characters and their opinions of each other's and each other's decisions. The interactions between the locals and foreigners, the tourists also, is one big point. So in the film, uh, the girl is trying to move away, but her dad doesn't really approve of it, and neither does her friend, who actually really likes her. And so the friend doesn't ever really say anything to her, but you can just see the way he's acting, the way he looks at her, the way he's just responding to the whole situation. He doesn't really approve of it, and it's something that shows how implicit bias is just kind of there without you really needing to say it. Um, it's also seen when, because they work at a restaurant, and when they have to talk to the tourists, they they try to attempt to talk English to them, and you see the tourists kind of react in their faces see um, how they see the the workers try to talk English to them, and it's just also implicit bias. Just because they weren't raised like you were, you just see them a little bit differently. And in both films, you see the aspects of implicit bias, the different points of it, revealing how it truly impacts us overall as human beings and how everyone really has it.